Hello there, welcome to the Perfume Experience. Welcome to another video. And I thought let's do an offbeat video today to talk about fragrances, but from a very different point of view. It is basically to talk about how to travel with your fragrances and how to carry them, how to pack them. What are some best tips to kind of carry your fragrances, some fragrance hacks, and I thought I'll talk to you about it. So I did create a list of pointers and then I thought let's talk about it, right? So this is coming from a little bit of an experience of a little bit of a travel, and as you know that because I review fragrances, I tend to carry a lot more fragrances with me, right? Now, so how do you go about carrying these type of fragrances, and what are the best fragrances to carry, and how do you manage your travel with them, or how do you manage your baggage with them? That's the primary element. So maybe there could be some pointers that I could tell you which might help you plan your next travel and you could enjoy your fragrances there, right? So let's talk about the first one. So first thing that you need to do, of course, is to figure out where are you traveling to. Okay, so this is very important, right? So mostly you do know where the destination is going to be, whether it's a vacation that you're taking or if it's an office trip or a family trip, you do know the place that you're going. So there, the first thing that you would also want to check is the weather, right? So the first thing is weather in this particular condition. Now, what do I mean by weather, right? Now, if you're planning to go to Goa, you do know that Goa is going to be sunny, right? So, but then you also need to know that the humidity level in Goa is going to be very high, and that's because it's going to be near a beach. So any place that's got a high humidity point will always make you have a lot of moisture in the air, so because of which your fragrances will not perform, right? So this is very important to understand, that while you might carry fragrances that would last longer or project better, because there is humidity in the air, it might not do well. Now, vis-a-vis, compare that to a location like Bangalore, okay, where in the daytime, the temperatures can go up to 32 degrees as well, but Bangalore has got a lot less humidity. So because of which you don't sweat more and the air doesn't have so much moisture. So if the fragrance does work, okay, it does actually last, though the heat will probably make it wear it down a bit, but then it actually projects better. Okay, but then it might not last longer because of the heat, right? So there's a difference between being hot and versus having more humidity. So that's the first thing, right, to consider. Second is that you would also want to try and see how many days that are you planning for. So if you're going for, let's say, 7 days or 10 days, then if you're somebody like me who would want to keep at least 10 to 15 fragrances with you, then you can plan accordingly as to how to carry them, right? So that is another thing to know, right? So the first thing is weather, okay? And so the primary thing is to know the difference between humidity and hot, and this is primarily for improved performance. Wherever there is humidity, you will get zero projection, or you will not notice the fragrance around you. So make sure that you carry fragrances that have really good projection and can last longer. Okay, so that's the first thing. Now the second thing is, now that you know which place that you're going to, what's the weather condition like, what are the fragrances that you would want to carry. That's the most key element, right? Now here it depends on what your occasion is going to be. Like if you're going to travel on work, then you would want to carry fragrances that are primarily fresh category of fragrances, which are citrus based, which are probably a little bit of green themed based fragrances that you can carry. Now you can, if you're going on vacations, of course, then you can carry a lot of casual fragrances that are fun to wear, like any citrus fragrances which has got a little bit of a fun element, like vanilla or something lavender, something even like a tobacco fragrance, or even anything else which is not going to annoy anybody. It is just going to be for you to enjoy those fragrances, so you can actually carry something really fun. So a lot of casual fragrances, a lot of good fresh fragrances that you can carry. Now generally, whenever you go on vacations, then another thing that you also do is, probably you're traveling with your partner, maybe you're looking for a romantic evening, then of course do carry a nice date night scents like Dear Intense, or probably Umo Intense, or anything which is iris based or vanilla based fragrance that you could definitely carry. And of course, if you're going out with your friends, then of course you're looking to party, club, then of course carry a clubbing fragrance as well. So primarily do carry good citrus based fresh fragrances, do carry a good date night scent, do carry a party fragrance, and also carry a couple of others, right? So that is the second category of what type of fragrances to carry. Now the third, the most important part, how do I carry? Because we generally carry like bottles, right? Now, carrying full bottles is going to be a troublesome activity because one, you would need to understand how are you traveling. If you're traveling by flights, every flight will have a restricted amount of luggage that you can carry, right? So maybe only 15 kilos or 20 kilos. It depends on the journey of the flight. So the further you carry or the further you fly, you will be able to carry more. So that is one element to understand what's going to be your luggage capacity. Now, based on the luggage capacity, you would want to carry your fragrances. Now, what I do generally is that I do carry a travel pack like this, where I do carry full bottles like this, maybe a few. Like in this case, I'm carrying about three full bottles of fragrances. Like this is a Balzac, and this is from Asanud, and this is fragrance world, right? So I do carry fragrances based on what is the activity that I would do, whether I'm reviewing fragrances, I'm testing fragrances, I would carry them. Aside to this, I would also carry maybe a couple of others as well. So there is a couple of others from Balzac here, so I'm carrying them, right? So I would carry these like this, plus I would carry a lot of decants. Okay, now I would carry some in this, like there is a Dear Sauvage decant, and there is Rasasi Blue for Men. In case you like decants, you can DM us on the number and you can get decants from us. So I'm also carrying a skin fragrance. This is Titan Skin Raw and Instinct. Both the decants are in this, so I carry these as well. So primarily what I do is I put fragrances within this, and of course your Dio, which is excellent because this is doesn't have a lot of perfume, but it controls body odor. So you carry all of these in this. So what happens is this becomes one essential kit for you to carry, and in this you can easily put about 10 to 12 fragrances, not full bottles like this, maybe about 3-4 full bottles, but a lot of decants that you can carry here and so forth. So this becomes one important baggage for you, which can host a lot of fragrances. And what you should ideally do this is you should keep this in your travel case, right? So if you should go in your check-in, so you can keep this among clothes. Maybe there's a cloth or a towel or something like that you wrap this so that you can have some kind of a protection. You can also have something like a bubble wrap that you can do as well. I also sometimes carry just bottles, pure bottles like this with a good bubble wrap, and place it among clothes as well. So that way you can actually plan to carry how much you want. Now, why I carry in a smaller case like this is essentially to manage that they don't break and they're kind of safe inside a bag like this. And because this gets thrown away like crazy, so this is something that you can do. So this is one part of it, right? So I carry in this. The second thing that I also do is I carry in my pouch as well. So this is a sling bag that I generally wear, right? So you can carry decants. So I do keep a couple of decants, because in your check-in cabbage, in your check-in luggage, you are only allowed to carry 50 ml. So if you are carrying one fragrance, you could carry a 50 ml like this. But what I've also seen is not a lot of security is very hard bent on these kind of rules. So what you can simply do is carry a couple of decants with you here, there. So maybe something like this. So that will have a couple of decants. So also another thing is, if you have a bag, a bag that you carry with you, backpack, so you can also keep some, maybe a couple of decants here as well. So in a sense, if you are transiting from one place to another, and if you don't have access to your main baggage, you don't have to worry. You can at least have 1 or 2 fragrances here, or you can also have 1 or 2 fragrances in your pouch as well. So that allows you to respray after 3 hours, 4 hours time. So that is another thing that you can do. So you can have more fragrances. My bet is that you carry as many decants as possible, so that it's easier for you to carry one. You get a variety of fragrances to carry second, and because they are small, generally you don't have a lot of hard rules on this. Now, one other element to also make note of is find out the airline policy in which you're traveling, because if certain airlines have restrictions of not carrying so much liquid and so forth, so you might want to check that. But from what I've gathered in the 25 plus flights that I've taken, I can tell you that you generally don't have a hard rule per se. People don't really come down hard on you with regards to these things. In fact, from Saudi, when I came back, I carried back about more than 20 fragrances, brand new ones in boxes. So you can just wrap them, and bring them. Another very important element to know: carry bubble wrap from here, from wherever you're traveling. if you're planning to bring back fragrances from another country. The reason being for that is in most other countries you do not get bubble wrap, so it's very difficult to come by. You can't go to a stationery shop to get bubble wrap, so make sure that you carry bubble wrap with you, and you can use that. So that's another thing to carry, right? So I did mention to you about carrying decants, which is the number 3 part of it, okay? And the other element is the fourth element is the number of fragrances. Now, because if you're going for 7 days, 8 days, you can carry 10 fragrances, 11 fragrances, so you can actually plan about having a good variety of fragrances. So this could be like, maybe for some people might find it funny. So especially as a fragrance enthusiast, what you do is you would always want to have a lot of fragrances with you as an option to wear. Now, you can't really carry full bottles with you, like I said, because they are heavy, and second, if you're carrying them with their full presentation, they carry even more weight and plus a lot of space in your bag as well. So it is very important for you to plan for the number of days that you're going, how many fragrances to carry. So that's why I always prefer to have decants, and I also carry smaller pouches with decants as well, so that it's always easy to have a lot of options whenever you are going, right? Now, the last element is, so I mentioned about how to carry fragrances. So like I said, you use the pouches. You can get these kind of travel bags from Amazon easily. I did put up a fragrance accessory list. You can get that from there. So you can carry them this way, or you can just bubble wrap fragrances and keep them in your compartments of your luggage. But the only thing that you need to remember that your check-in luggage is not something that you will have access to once you've deposited, so until you reach your destination. So if they will need to layer up, or if you need to kind of reuse fragrances, best way would be to carry a couple of decants in your sling bag or in the backpack that you kind of carry, right? Yes, so that's what I thought. So those are certain tips that you can use to carry your fragrances. You can plan your fragrances better, and of course, whenever you go to a new country, you're excited to see a lot of new brands and you would want to buy fragrances from there. So yes, you can bring fragrances. I have bought, like I said, personally more than 20 fragrances in one particular trip as well. But then it all depends on the airline policy. So just have a check, Google check, and see what's the airline policy of every airline to check on that. But like I said, mostly you do not feel, you don't get troubled by this most of the time, unless you're going to countries like Australia or New Zealand where there could be a little more restrictions. But in general, you don't really have a lot of problems as such, right? So you can open up the fragrance, you can remove the box and carry them with you, so they become your personal fragrances. The only thing is to make sure that you bubble wrap them well, so that they are in between your clothes, in between something, so that they're wrapped well, so that they don't break in transit. Okay, so that's the only thing. So I hope this was a insightful video. So this was just more about sharing experience on how to carry fragrances. So always remember, weather plays a most important role. So that is one. Decide on the number of days that you're going and plan different fragrances, fresh fragrances, party fragrances, date nights, athars, all of that you can definitely carry. Carry travel cases, travel pouches, and of course, decants are the best way to go. So carry as many decants as possible. If you don't have decants, you can also go to Amazon and you can buy travel atomizers that you get from where you can take out the fragrance from your bottle and actually fill it up in smaller vials as well, right? So those are certain things also that you can definitely do, right? So, and you do know how to pack them. So like I said, keep a little bit on your backpack, keep a little on your pouch, keep a little on your travel case, and that should help you carry as many fragrances as you want and enjoy them thoroughly. So I hope this video is helpful. If you like the video, hit the like button, subscribe and share, and I'll see you on another one. Until another time, take care. Bye bye.